The grim entrance to the Silver Dragon dungeon appears before us, guarded by 2 guards and lats. Dainty-heeled shoes, shrouded in a blue glow, tread the stone floor. One of the guards, noticing the approaching figure, exclaims, "Her Majesty." A woman with long silver hair stands back and orders the guards away, wanting to speak to the captive alone. The Queen of the Silver Dragons, Roswise, appears in all her splendor and power. Roswise addresses the chained hero, sneeringly wondering what it's like for him to be a prisoner of her clan. The captive, a young man with signs of beatings, says with a defiant look in his eyes, "Kill me." A sly smirk appears on the queen's face as she hears his request for a quick death. She approaches him, touching his chin, and notices that he is handsome and determined, but he will not die easily. A sharp blow lands on the captive's face, and the queen adds that a few more scars will make his appearance perfect. The captive groans in pain, blood streaming down his face. He pleads with the queen to stop the humiliation and act faster, whether it be murder or dismemberment. Roswise, licking the perdition with his blood, offers him to join the Silver Dragon clan, alluding to his unjust captivity. With a challenge in his gaze and a barely perceptible chuckle, the captive questions whether she is worthy of his service. The queen's eye flashes anger at the impertinent question. The enraged Roswise unleashes a powerful blow on him, knocking him back and breaking his chains. In a puff of dust, the captive coughs out, struggling to recover from the attack. The queen steps her foot on his chest, angered by his insolence. She contemptuously asks Leon Cosmod if he still thinks he's a great hero who dreams of destroying the Dragon Clan. With a cold chuckle, Roswise declares that he is destined to die here, calling him an ignorant loser. Pressed against the queen's foot, Leon clenched his teeth as he listened to her words that his descendants could enjoy wealth and glory with him. Roswise remarks with a chuckle that this is an interesting hypothesis, but unfortunately he has no successor, so such a day will not come for him. With a challenge in his voice, Leon objected, "Roswise, don't underestimate people." Suddenly the queen's tail enveloped in radiance wraps around Leon's neck. She lifts him into the air with her tail, noting his stubbornness. Leon gasped, his hands desperately trying to loosen his grip on his tail, struggling to squeeze out the words. He utters, "Her Majesty." Roswise, with a mocking smile, wonders if he's finally ready to beg for mercy. Gasping, Leon states that she made 2 mistakes from the beginning. The queen looks surprised, uttering, "Huh?" as Leon continues, saying that her first mistake was to be alone with the most powerful and trained dragon slayer. Leon, still held by her tail, continues, saying that her second mistake was that she should have never. With eyes blazing red, he shouts out, "Wait, taste my blood." Roswise's eyes widen with horror as she realizes she's been trapped under the blood curse. Leon breaks the grip of his tail with effort, freeing himself from choking. The queen jerks back, her tail slackening, and Leon lands on his feet. A blush floods Roswise's face, and she feels an unbearable heat engulf her body. She sinks to her knees, grabbing herself and puzzled as to why her body is reacting this way. With a confused and flushed face, the queen asks herself what the hell is going on. Leon, standing over her, declares that very soon she will suffer a lifetime of pain brought to her soul. A close-up of Roswise's face is shown, drenched in paint, with a tear running down her cheek as she hears him curse. Suddenly, Roswise lunges at Leon, catching him off guard. The queen presses Leon against the wall, her eyes burning with the red fire of passion. Leon, completely confused, questions what's going on. Roswise breathes heavily, her face flooded with a blush, and Leon realizes, this situation, is she horny? Giving into the effects of the curse, the queen kisses Leon, her hand gently touching his cheek. A close-up of Leon's eye reflects his amazement, while his cheek shows the marks of her touch. An hour later, shoes, boots, pieces of clothing, and broken chains were scattered on the floor. Roswise's eyes still lit up red. She looks on with a thoughtful expression. Covering her bare breasts, the queen begins to speak. She turns around abruptly, her face contorted with anger as she turns to Leon. You. With fury in her voice covering her nakedness, the queen asks Leon, "What did you do to me?" Leon calmly explains the essence of the blood curse, a forbidden technique that creates a soul bond through his blood and condemns her to eternal torment after his death. Roswise, not believing his ears, screams, Bullshit. If this spell works after you die, what just happened is this? With a note of embarrassment, Leon admits that it was an accident, a side effect he didn't expect, thinking the curse would only manifest itself with the pain of his death. Blushing and clenching her fists, the queen orders him in a rage, "Shut up." With a slight chuckle, Leon continues, reminding her, "But as far as I know, you dragons follow the rule of monogamy, right?" The realization of the consequences is reflected on Roswai's face, as Leon explains that once he's dead, she won't be able to find a new partner, leave offspring, or explain to the clan what happened. And she only squeezes out you. Leon, echoing her recent words with a sneer, reminds her that she too will now have no successor, no heir to the dragon family. A flash of purple energy surrounds the queen's hand as she, unable to contain her anger, shouts out, "You bastard." Raising a hand shrouded in a blue glow, Leon, with a fatalistic chuckle, suggests she doesn't bother, stating that she'll die soon enough as it is. The split faces reflect mutual pain as the woman utters a curse that condemns the man to a life of hatred and misery. The white-haired woman, full of determination, adjusts her outfit, mulling over what she said. She approaches the scarred man, accusing him of wretched revenge and questioning his desire to die. With an expression of disbelief on her face, the woman exclaims at the unexpected cheapness of what is happening, surrounded by glowering. A glowing blue symbol appears on the chest of a man with his eyes closed, accepting his fate. Leon Cosmod, once a legendary hero, defeater of dragons, rests peacefully in bed, immersed in memories or sleep. At the young age of 5, he fearlessly defended a girl from a ferocious dog, which attracted the attention of a great dragon slayer who took him on as an apprentice. 10-year-old Leon gazes up at the majestic building of the Imperial Academy of Dragon Slayers, where he entered and graduated with honors at a record young age. As a 15-year-old young man, he was already fighting on the battlefield, slaying dragons and reclaiming territory for the Empire. Known as the strongest hero and last hope of the Empire, Leon stands on a defeated dragon, representing victory in the war. 2 years after his capture, Leon opens his eyes, his gaze clouded with memories of the past. Abruptly awakening, he shrieks, sitting up in bed. Gasping and looking around, Leon tries to realize where he is. He finds himself in a lavishly furnished, light-filled spoo-gibbon. A little girl with dark hair and big blue eyes peeks through the ajar door. Curiously peeking out from behind the door, the girl cheerfully informs, "Hey, you're awake." Leon, blushing with mortification, exclaims, "What a cutie." Clutching his head, he tries to make sense of what has happened, assuming that his great deeds have led him to paradise, and now he has met her. Pointing to the girl, he excitedly declares her to be a legendary angel, while she perplexedly asks what an angel is. Smiling, Leon addresses the little girl affectionately, wondering about her name. With shining eyes, the girl introduces herself. When Leon repeats her name with a smile, finding it beautiful, but at the same time wondering about the strange black and white color of the angel's hair. One explains that her name means moon, as her mother said, and Leon asks in surprise if angels have mothers. Introducing himself, Leon says his name is Leon Cosmod, to which the girl joyfully exclaims that she knows Leon means lion. A surprised Leon asks who told her that, and Wen replies that her mom said so. Disbelief is reflected on Leon's face, and he wonders with bated breath who her mother is. The girl calls out the name Roseweiser with a smile, and Leon freezes as if struck by thunder. A shocked Leon, pointing to himself, mutters, "Your mother, Rosewise." Then I, while Moan looks at him questioningly. With a beaming smile, one exclaims, "You're a father." Leon's face contorts with shock and horror as the full depth of this revelation comes to him. In utter confusion, Leon realizes that Moan is his and Rosewise's daughter, while the girl calls out, "Mama." Leon's gaze is full of shock and disbelief at the sight of the approaching figure. Rosewise appears, and Moan joyfully informs her, "Mommy, Daddy's awake." To which the queen replies, "Yes, I know." Leon and Rosewise's faces are separated, and she utters, "You're finally awake, Leon." Moan says excitedly that Mommy must be happy that Daddy is awake, since she visited him every day. Rosewise discreetly confirms his daughter's words, and Leon inwardly exclaims, "Only a ghost would believe it." The queen asks Moan to go and play as she needs to talk to her father, and the girl happily agrees. Leon hesitantly asks if Moan is really his daughter, to which Rosewise replies with a smirk, "Who else could she be? She's our biological daughter." Rosewise's tail slams against the door with force as she utters, "You hate me." Leon, backing away, questions Rosewise as to why she gave birth to the child and why she saved him. The girl with silver hair and scarlet eyes, smiling slightly, reminds her of the 2-year dream and the fact that she's not going to forgive the past. The dark-haired young man in the white shirt exclaims angrily, denying his desire and saying that their coexistence is impossible. Their gazes meet closely. He confirms that touching her is torture while she smiles slyly. A lavender-colored scaly tail wraps around the leg of a young man and finds himself toppled over on the bed, shrieking in surprise, and a female figure looms over him. The girl with the tail ends up on top, pinning the young man to the bed, who anxiously inquires about her intentions. A hand clutches and tears the fabric of the shirt on the young man's chest with force, exposing the skin. Rosewise, that's the girl's name, with a magical glow in her hand, announces her intention to carve her dragon pattern on him while he begs her to stop. A glowing magical symbol approaches his body, foreshadowing that this will be his shame and make him her eternal prisoner. With a triumphant smile, Rosewise wonders who people will think he is when they see the dragon tattoo. A hero who killed a dragon or a traitor who submitted to the dragon clan. Leon, feeling the pain of the pattern being inflicted, questions why she would go so far. Rosewise, leaning over him, asks if he doesn't understand and explains that the concept of revenge in dragons is difficult for humans. With an expression of superiority, Rosewise declares that she wants him to live in this shame and be humiliated by her for the rest of his life. For their revenge combines paranoia, extremity, and the incomprehensible to humans. Leon's face contorts with mixed feelings as the purple pattern continues to manifest on his chest. Rosewise, holding it up, announces, "So let us begin," and explains that it is her great honor to make Leon the greatest dragon slayer, her husband, slave, and closest partner, which is her revenge as a dragon. The majestic silver dragon castle appears before us, shining under a clear sky. Two maids walking down the corridor whisper that the queen is in a good mood today, and one of them suggests that it is because of her husband's awakening. Leon, standing against the wall, ponders with indignation that this dragoness has declared him her husband and how horrible she is. Rosewise, in a passionate outburst, demands that Leon move faster, laughing while he complains that she has tormented him all day and night, and his lower back is nearly broken. With determination in his gaze and a clenched fist, Leon swears that he will never stay here and become her plaything. For dragon guards in armor guard the arched passageway in the castle in the light of day. Leon, peering out from behind a stone wall, notes that the side door is guarded by 4 dragons and there is no way out. Leaning against the wall, Leon ponders why there are so few guards in Silver Dragon Castle today, finding the atmosphere quiet and strange compared to his visit 2 years ago. A close-up of Leon's face expresses surprise as he utters, "Huh?" Finding a hole hidden in the grass, Leon is puzzled as to where it came from. Looking into the dark abyss, he wonders if it's a trap. Grappling with his head, Leon decides he still needs to leave, even if it's a trap, and he'll force his way out. As he prepares to climb down the hole, he mentally says goodbye to his twisted dragon mother, adding that cutie Moan can stay with her for now. Moan, pointing into the distance, happily shouts to her mother that Daddy is digging a dog hole, and it's so cool. Ross Weiss, lounging in a bikini on a chaise lounge, nonchalantly replies to Moan that she's seen it and thinks it's pretty awesome. Moan curiously asks when Mommy will go and fish Daddy back out. Ross Weiss gently corrects her daughter, saying that the word fished in relation to her father sounds very rude. The girl is perplexed, wondering what word she should use then. With a sly smile, the queen offers the option of catching it back. After a while, Leon makes his way through the dense thickets. By traversing the mountains, he believes it will be possible to see the boundaries of the human lands. He hopes that by running this far, the dragoness won't be able to catch up to him. Suddenly, Leon's face contorts with surprise and alarm. Ross Weiss appears in the sky in his dragon form, blocking his path. Ross Weiss's huge dragon head looms over Leon, and she notices that he's not a bad runner, while he exclaims in horror, "Shit." The dragon's huge, scaly tail swooped over Leon, casting a shadow. Ross Weiss, in her full dragon form, towers over Leon, mockingly wondering if he's having fun playing with her like this. Ross Weiss's dragon face draws closer, and she asks with satisfaction if his escape seems too smooth, hinting that she was the one who distracted the guards and left a loophole. With a determined expression, Leon admits that he knew of the trap, but had no choice, though he didn't expect it to catch up with him so quickly. Ross Weiss, looking down at Leon, questions what will happen if he returns to the humans with her mark on his chest, and whether he will be recognized as a dragon slayer. With defiance, Leon declares that he would rather start life as a normal person than endure her torture. With a snicker, Ross Weiss rebukes him for his ingratitude in dragon form, flapping his wings. Leon cries out, "Ah!" as Ross Weiss's huge dragon claws close around him. Carrying Leon away in her claws, Ross Weiss responds to his cries of, "Let go. Where are you dragging me, dragoness?" That since he's so eager to get back, she'll help him. 3 hours later, under the cover of night, the silhouette of a dragon with its prey approaches the border city of the Empire, heading towards a large tree. Leon lets out a loud scream, falling rapidly downward, his arm desperately reaching upward. Whizzing through the dense crown of a tree, his fall is accompanied by the crackle of breaking branches. He lands on his back in the middle of the forest thicket with a thud. Grasping his bruised head, Leon wrinkles his nose in pain. A close-up of his face expresses a sudden realization. Perched on the thick branch of a huge tree, he looks out over the sprawling nighttime city below. Puzzled, Leon questions whether this is really a human city. Ross Weiss appears in human form, confirming that this is the human empire. She asks if he feels like he can return to the human world just by stepping across, by seeing this long abandoned city. With a sly smile, Ross Weiss declares that Leon can't go back, even though it seems like it's a short walk to the city. Leon stares forward in shock, purple light emanating from the dragon mark on his chest. Ross Weiss, standing back, explains what she forgot to mention. When one of the tag bearers desires intimacy, the dragon tag reacts, causing Leon to back off. As he approaches, she asks with a smirk if he feels the heat and overwhelming desire and wonders if he wants to be here. Looking at the nighttime city visible in the distance, Ross Weiss says she brought him here so he would realize the shame of being so close to his ancestral home. Clutching his chest, Leon asks defiantly if she thinks he'll lose his faith over this. He grabs her arm, vehemently declaring that he will wait patiently for his chance, and then he will avenge her doubly for all the humiliation. Ross Weiss looks at him with surprise and a slight blush, silently listening to his threat. With a sly smile and covered eyes, she utters, "Okay." Drawing closer to his face, Ross Weiss says with defiance that she will wait for him, dead or alive. A huge tree towers against the night sky and moon with the inscription "Near the border city of the Empire." Ross Weiss, with a satisfied smile and hearts all around her, sits on Leon who is lying on the ground below her. Turning to an exhausted Leon, the queen declares herself very pleased with his recent performance. Lying next to Leon and propping his head up with his hand, Ross Weiss grinningly offers to bring him here every month to visit his hometown. Leon, sitting up abruptly, exclaims angrily that she's a dragoness, hovering in the clouds and thinking only of ways to exhaust him. To which Ross Weiss, Chibi formally admits that she's been figured out. Surrounded by purple energy and spreading her wings, Ross Weiss tells Leon it's time to go, for their daughter is waiting at home. Leon calls out to her, "Wait," and Ross Weiss turns around with a questioning expression. With a defiant look in his eyes, Leon declares that as a dragon slayer, he does not wish to be dragged like prey and will go himself. Ross Weiss explains that it takes her at least 3 hours to fly to Silver Dragon Castle, and it takes a human at least 10 days or half a month to walk, to which Leon objects, urging her not to underestimate human endurance. With an icy smile, the queen says she wants to see how long he lasts. After a while, a hand, breathing heavily, pushes the dense thicket apart. Leon, breathing heavily, makes his way through the night forest. Ross Weiss remarks that he must be unable to walk any longer, but Leon stubbornly denies fatigue. With a chuckle, the queen remarks that he only has a well-tempered tongue, causing his resentment to grow. Suddenly, both Leon and Ross Weiss are alerted, hearing something. In the distance, Leon spots a cavalry unit he identifies as the Dragon Killer Army. Hope flashes across Leon's face at the thought that these warriors might help him get rid of the dragoness. Ross Weiss's face contorts into a furious grimace that foreshadows danger. Leon realizes with horror that if he calls for help, Ross Weiss, whose eyes glow ominously, will not hesitate to kill the soldiers. One of the knights of the Dragon Killer Army, a man in lats, calls out to them, asking them to stop. The knight courteously wonders if Leon and Ross Weiss are lost while Leon tries to discreetly make a sign. Leon, with a smile and a hand behind his head, replies to the knight that they are just out for a walk, mentally adding that he can involve innocent people. The knight warns that this forest is not a good place to walk due to dangerous critters and offers them a ride. Introducing himself, the knight informs him that his name is Walker, and he is the captain of the 47th Squadron of the Imperial Army of Dragon Slayers. Leon puts his hands out in front and thanks for the kindness, assuring them that they are trained in self-defense, mentally begging the knight to stay away. Walker takes a closer look at Leon and hesitantly asks if his face looks familiar, as if they've met somewhere. A close-up shows Ross Weiss's eyes flashing with anxiety and determination against a blue glow. Turning around, Leon sees Ross Weiss's hand being enveloped in purple energy and realizes that things are bad. Leon's hand sharply intercepts Ross Weiss's wrist, stopping her impending attack, the purple energy dissipating. Leon pulls Ross Weiss into his arms, telling Walker that he must be mistaken. Turning to Ross Weiss, Leon remarks with a smile that he has a plain face, and his wife often confuses it true. Whereupon he whispers to her that he will go with her obediently, but asks her to help get rid of them first. Walker, seeing Leon hugging Ross Weiss, utters, laughing. Walker says he won't get in the way of their love and waves his hand. Leon and Ross Weiss look after Walker's retreating squad. Ross Weiss icily asks Leon if he's hugged enough. She sharply pushes Leon away, who cries out. Ross Weiss, arms crossed, tells Leon that he did the smart thing by not asking for their help. But there's one thing. She states that he needs to understand his position. Even though they have children, it doesn't mean she's his wife, to which Leon replies that he never thought of being her husband. Ross Weiss turns away and says they should go. There's still a long way to go. Leon clenched his teeth in pain, grasping his chest where the dragon mark was. His hand reaches for the departing Ross Weiss, his palm showing abrasions. Leon suddenly falls face down into the bushes, causing Ross Weiss at a gasp and surprise. Crossing his arms over his chest, Ross Weiss wonders with some disdain if he's fainted. Surrounded by a violet glow, she states what a fragile human being he is. She effortlessly lifts him up by the collar of his shirt. Turning into a dragon, Ross Weiss tosses Leon into the air with his muzzle. Leon lands helplessly on the dragon's broad back. The silver dragon soars into the sunset sky, and Ross Weiss utters what she would consider a plea for mercy this time. The majestic castle with its numerous towers and spires appears in all its splendor under a clear sky. Leon lets out a quiet groan, coming to his senses in the soft bed. Moan happily peeks out from behind the edge of the bed, exclaiming, "Daddy, you're awake." Leon, sitting up in bed and holding his head, asks how he got here, and Moan, peeking out from under the covers, replies that it was Mommy who brought Daddy back. Leon's eyes reflect the memory of Ross Weiss in her dragon form grabbing him, and he thinks with annoyance that she has finally caught him like prey. Leon looks at his bandaged hand in surprise, uttering, that's. Moan proudly announces that she was the one who bandaged Daddy's arm, expecting praise. Upon reflection, Leon recalls that draconologists consider dragons to be a ferocious race that spends their lives in violence. And although Moan has obvious draconic traits, he continues his thoughts, noting that she shows no hostility towards him and treats him like a father, wondering if it's because she's a hybrid of human and dragon. With a smile stroking Moan's head, Leon says she's awesome, to which the girl giggles embarrassedly. Leon tells Moan that she is very sweet, but asked her not to become like her mother when she grows up, much to the girl's bewilderment. Ross Weiss, appearing in the doorway, asks with icy calmness what's wrong with being like her, making Leon wince. Leon, stammering, replies that it is nothing, while Ross Weiss carrying the tray looks at him with evident displeasure. Moan proudly reports to her mother that she dressed Dad's wound according to her instructions. Ross Weiss, looking at Leon, calmly says, that's what you should do. The girl obediently replies, "Yes, Mommy." and Leon mentally notes what a strict mother she has. Leon suggests that Moan hide in the garden first, promising to come looking for her when he counts to 100. Moan's eyes light up with excitement, and she excitedly asks if Daddy really wants to play hide and seek with her. Smiling, Leon tells Moan that he is not like her mother and tells her to run away quickly. Leon starts counting 1, 2, 3, and Moan, in a panic, asks him not to count so fast. Continuing to count 4, 5, Leon watches as Moan runs out of the room in a cloud of smoke. Leon abruptly turns to Ross Weiss, sitting on the bed, and calls out to her, "Hey, I'm talking to you." To which she questions, "What?" After getting out of bed, Leon asks Ross Weiss reproachfully if she is being too hard on the child. Ross Weiss, sitting on the bed, explains that all dragons go through this, and only strictness with children from an early age can raise strong warriors. Leon objects that Moan isn't really a dragon, and besides, she's so cute. To which Ross Weiss replies that Moan is a dragon, and cute is a derogatory word for a dragon. With a slight smile, Leon notices that Ross Weiss is pretty cute too. A close-up of Ross Weiss's eye is shown in which irritation flares at his words. Ross Weiss's hand clutches Leon's shirt with force, the fabric cracking. An enraged Ross Weiss yells at Leon that he's just a slave to vent her anger and to stay out of the way. Leon utters with a confused look. Ross Weiss, adjusting his collar, says it's good that he understands. She's the queen of the Silver Dragon clan and has many affairs of state, so the care of the child falls to him. Moving closer to his ear, Ross Weiss adds with a smile that the kid loves him. Leon stands on the sun-drenched path in the garden, pondering the fact that she is a dragon queen and very busy, and that dragon slayers seem to be in charge of raising children now. Leon, standing in the garden, looks puzzled, saying, "Huh?" Moan peeks out from behind a pillar, and Leon thinks she's too naive, believing she won't be found if she hides behind him. Holding out his hand, Leon shouts joyfully, "Found you, Moan." Chibi style, Leon points to Moon, who is standing back, and he looks a little confused. A close-up of Moan's disgruntled face is shown, and Leon wonders if she's angry. Smiling embarrassingly and scratching the back of his head, Leon apologizes to Moan for keeping her waiting. Moon suddenly runs away, and Leon, surprised, shouts after her, "Moan, what's wrong?" Holding out his hand, Leon asks a fleeing Moan why she's running away. Looking around on the garden path, Leon is puzzled as to where she's propaganded to, since he's just seen her run through here. With a confused expression on his face, Leon concludes that the child's mood is really hard to predict. Leon, standing in the garden and scratching the back of his head, ponders that it's no wonder why Ross Weiss has assigned him to watch the baby, while Moan peeks out from around the corner. Suddenly, Moon jumps on Leon's back, exclaiming happily, "Haha, Moon caught Daddy." A puzzled Leon asks Moon if she just ran past him, while the girl looks at him with a questioning expression. Moon explains with shining eyes that Daddy couldn't find her, so she went out to look for him herself. With a look of doubt on his face, Leon wondered if he had made a mistake. The girl calls out to Leon, saying she wants to show him something, and he obediently follows her. A close-up of Moon's face with a serious and slightly pensive expression, she is silent. At a family dinner, which is supposed to be a time for socializing, Leon is agonizing. Ross Weiss sits across the table, and next to Moon is another girl who asks her sister to help her cut the food. The two daughters are similar in appearance, but their personalities are quite different, and it is noted that Noah, the second girl, is clearly more like her mother. With a friendly smile, Leon asks Noah if she likes today's food. Noah exclaims, "Disgusting," in disgust, and Leon feels as if pierced by invisible arrows. Ross Weiss, covering his mouth with his hand, chuckles quietly at the situation. Moon asks her mother why she is so happy, and Ross Weiss replies that her father is finally reunited with his family, and she is happy to see him, so happy too. The queen turns to Leon, asking why he isn't smiling, to which he replies with a strained smile that of course he's happy to be with his family. Moon asks hopefully if Daddy can have dinner with them every day, and Leon, stammering, mentally exclaims that he doesn't want to have dinner with that dragoness every day. Noah decisively declares no, cutting off the conversation. Moon asks with surprise, why not? And Noah explains that he wants to study in the Young Dragon faculty at St. Heath Academy. Ross Weiss clarifies with Noah that St. Heath Academy's Young Dragon faculty is full of 4- or 5-year-old dragons and wonders why she's so eager to go there. With burning eyes, Noah declares that he wants to defeat more dragon slayers, causing Leon to choke up. Leon, covering his mouth with a napkin, thinks anxiously that this kid seems to want to beat him, his own father. Leon, with a concerned expression, tells Noah that dragon slayers are very brave, and she's too young, could get hurt. Noah, arms crossed, angrily objects to not being treated like a child, while Leon mentally screams that she is a child. Ross Weiser remarks with a smile that Noah's idea isn't a bad one, because the sooner she learns, the sooner she can fight the dragon slayer. The queen, turning to Leon, challenges him to ask if he is right, or if he has a reason to prevent Noah from going to school. Leon, looking away, ponders that if he continues to object, Noah will hate him even more as a father, and he can only try to gently change her mind. At the table, Leon, looking at Noah, utters, "No, no more," trying to talk her out of it. With an expression of epiphany, Leon looks at Ross Weiser thinking, "Damn, I finally get it." The image of a giant Ross Weiser appears before Leon, and he realizes that this dragoness wants to use Noah to morally attack him during this dinner. Clutching his knife and fork, Leon angrily thinks, "Just wait, Ross Weiser, you'll get your ass kicked later." As the queen announces that since his father agrees, it's settled, and the entrance exam for St. Heath Academy will be held in a month, and his father will help Noah prepare. Noah, chibi style, clenches his fist and obediently replies, "Yes, mommy." The caption, "End of family dinner," frames the scene where Moan, stroking her round tummy, says to Noah, "Sis, look." Moan's tummy is round, while Ross Weiser stands behind her. Leon calls out to Ross Weiser, and she turns to him, standing by the bookshelves. Pointing to an untidy table, Leon remarks, "These plates have not yet been put away," to which Ross Weiser looks puzzled. The queen replies with mild surprise, "Just let the servants do it." Leon, putting his hand on her shoulder, explains, "After dinner the couple cleans up and washes the plates together. It's the proper way to end a family dinner." Drawing closer, he adds with pressure, "Don't you want to create a harmonious family atmosphere in front of them, even if it's just a fake?" Myun, looking at them excitedly, utters, "Looking forward to it." And Noah stands beside her. Ross Weiser, covering her eyes, reluctantly agrees. "Okay." Myun, raising his hand and shining with joy against the stars, exclaimed, "Myun wants to help too." Noah decisively leads Moan away behind her as she screams in panic, "Sis, where are we going?" In the sink, under the dripping faucet, is a stack of dirty dishes from dinner. Ross Weiser, standing in the kitchen doorway, impatiently asks Leon when he's going to help. Leon, crossing his arms over his chest, and with a slight chuckle, wonders if Ross Weiser has forgotten his words from 2 years ago. Ross Weiser's face tenses as Leon reminds her that she should never be alone with a highly skilled and powerful dragon slayer. The queen, looking up at Leon from below, anxiously asks what he is going to do. Leon explains that he used to be exhausted after the long journey, and so he was controlled by her dragon pattern, but now things are different. Ross Weiser's tail, shrouded in a blue glow, rushes sharply towards Leon as she asks if he's thinking of escaping with this ruse. Leon's black-gloved fist meets the powerful blow of the queen's tail. Leon, pushing her tail away, asks defiantly who said he was going to run. Ross Weiser, with a flushed face and an expression of shock, lets out an exclamation of Kaya. Ross Weiser, with face contorted in pain and hair fluttering, utters, "You." Holding her tail, Leon grinningly wonders if she is unable to do anything about it, explaining that the dragon pattern makes the tail extremely sensitive, and this new knowledge he learned from her dragon book. As Leon gets close to her, he notices that the dragons Ross Weiser are eager to conquer and control everything. Ross Weiser's eyes widen with amazement and a slight blush as he questions if she was ever conquered.